Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Taurus. That's Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising for the month of November 2024. Before I get started, I just want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. You're going to find a whole bunch of really cool folk here, people who are looking for a higher perspective, perhaps a perspective from the stars, right? And it's a great group of people, very, very loving souls here. And for my very loving souls who've been with me for years, thank you so much for your support and for following me all these years. I want you to know how much I truly appreciate that. All right. And then one announcement. I've been on YouTube now for quite a while, and I've had this channel for a while, and I've decided that I'm gonna do a membership. I'll still have the channel. I'll still be doing all kinds of stuff, but I want to be able to share myself and my teachings in a more sort of intimate and intense environment. Put a circle around it, right? So anyway, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that. So the little thing will come up and say, "Do you want to become a member? Do you want to become a member?" So I'm in the process of doing that now. So all right, and I think that was it. But we're gonna talk a little astrology before I do the cards. I'm going to be using the Astro Matrix deck. I love this deck. It's so vibrant. It's just such a good art. Even though it's really like a repetition of the Rider-Waite, like most of them are, but the art is just really neat. So let's talk a little astrology, shall we? Um, well, first of all, there's a new moon in Scorpio. That is your house of relationship. It's at 10 degrees of Scorpio. And, for most of you, it's your house of relationship if you have Scorpio rising. I mean, Taurus rising. So we're talking about your seventh house, which is house of relationships. So it's an opportunity to have a new relationship. Now, those relationships are usually relationship between equals. And they can be business relationships as well as, marriage and other legal, it's actually legal. It's when you are legally responsible for sharing something or creating something with somebody else, right? That's really what that is. We also have a full moon in your sign, Taurus. And this full moon, of course, in Taurus is conjunct Uranus, which is in your first house and has been there for almost 7 years now. So not something that you necessarily are unfamiliar with at this point, Taurus, although it has been quite the almost 7 years with Uranus in your sign. But because the moon is connected to it and it's a full moon, it packs a little bit more of a punch, excuse me. Now that is going to be in your seventh house. So this could be part of the relationship energy that we see. A seed is planted at the new moon and 15 days later, something is manifested. So that's something you're gonna keep an eye on, so to speak. The new moon is on the 1st. The full moon is on the 15th. We also have Pluto moving out of Capricorn and moving into Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is a sign that squares Taurus, excuse me. And so that can be disruptive, especially Pluto in a sign like Aquarius. Aquarius can be a very disruptive sign. It can also be a sign of trauma. And so, we're there's a change of energy for you, Taurus, because Pluto is moving into that energy of Aquarius. It's an energy that squares you, but you've had Uranus in Taurus now for, like I said, 6-something years. And so this isn't as big. And while it's a shift, and it's a big shift at that, you're sort of, I don't want to ever say you're used to Uranus, or you're used to the energy of that, that Aquarian sort of get the rug pulled out from under you energy. But you've really learned how to be more nimble on your feet, and that's going to be helpful as Pluto moves into Aquarius. That's happening on the 19th. And we're not going to see Pluto in Capricorn for another 230 something years. So we ain't seeing it, right? We ain't seeing it. But it's been an incredible 16 years that started with, Pluto moving into Capricorn and the world's economy nearly collapsing. So, yeah, so we are different because of those experiences, and probably a lot wiser, a lot more resilient. And we know what's really important to us. I mean, we live a life, and then all of a sudden, if that isn't challenged, and to say, is this really the life that you want to live? Then you just continue on, right? So this isn't the time of just continuing on. This is the time of change, transformation, and a new way forward. With an eye to try to understand what we went through, perhaps, but equally with an eye forward, right? Like, what's the next opportunity? What's the next? What can we build upon, right? What can we build upon? What kind of world do we want to have? So we're in that place, and it's quite the place. It is quite the place. All right. Is there anything else I want to say? The sun is in Scorpio until I think it's the 22nd, or it could be the 21st. I have something here that I can look at. Okay. The 21st. So the sun moves into Sag on the 21st. So from the beginning of the month to say the 20th, the sun will be in your 7th house, and then it goes into your 8th house. That's when maybe you want to start getting your tax stuff together, make sure you have all that stuff taken care of. Before I just think it'd be a good idea with what's going on in your chart. All right. And Mars moves from Cancer into Leo early, though. Wait, maybe it's not. Let's see. Yeah, it moves into Leo on the 3rd. And that is your house of, let me see here. I think that's your home, right? That's your 4th house. Okay. So more energy in the 4th house. You're actually, Mars is going to be go retrograde in December, and it retrogrades back, I think, to about 16 of Cancer. It's in Leo. I think it turns around 6 degrees, and then it goes backwards to, I think, 16 of Cancer, or somewhere around there. So for you, this is your 3rd and 4th house. So there'll be changes in your environment. Maybe just more activity, more action. You might actually have more action going on in your house. So, and it's not necessarily bad. It can be very creative. Actually, it's a very creative energy, but there can be frustration because most of it's happening in Cancer. And Cancer, although I think Cancer and Mars in Cancer is challenging, but Mars retrograding Cancer, I think, is actually not as challenging, because when a planet is retrograde, it points in the opposite direction. in the opposite direction of Cancer is Capricorn, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So while I think that it's going to be much it's going to work much better than you would think it's going to work, as long as you apply yourself. As long as you apply yourself. All right. So all right, so that's that. So let's take a look at the cards and see what your month ahead is like. This is the month of November. So show me the month of November and what Taurus needs to know. All right. What? There we go. Oh, I got it. All right. Let's just do something here. Oh, okay. We're good. So we start with the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. This is the queen who has overcome much. The storm clouds behind her, but she can see above them. So she has wisdom. She has good judgment. She holds her sword straight up. So when you see the sword straight up, it generally means that it's balanced. And so any action she takes, any decision she makes is going to be a balanced one. It's going to be a balanced one. After much challenge. So crossing it, the celebration card. Celebration card. We'll see what that means. Well, seems a little odd, but underneath it, there's that sword. A decision has been made. A decision has come down. A decision has been made, and it's a just one. It's as if the sword of truth. In the past, the Page of Wands, energy, movement. This is sort of getting that Kundalini moving, getting your creative juices flowing, as it were. This can also be messages, and generally the message is from spirit. So that's who's knocking, or that's who was knocking on the side of your head in the recent past. In the sky, the Chariot movement. You're on your path. You're on your soul's path. That's what this card is saying to me. The card in the sky is usually what spirit suggests or messages from spirit, and spirit says you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Oh man, victory. Victory in the immediate future. Wow. Wow, Taurus, this is great. How people see you, or how it's seen from the outside, you are pouring your wisdom upon the waters. You are raising all boats. You are an inspiration to people. Hopes and, oh no, domestic situation. Oh, the Knight of Pentacles. So stable at home as well, right? Tending to the protecting and tending. This is one of the few Knights of Pentacles where the usually the horse isn't doing nothing, just standing there. But this one's taking a step forward. Taking a step forward into a wider world. This looks like a peasant, going into the city for something, or going to where there are more people, right? From isolation into more of a getting back into life, so to speak. There's a sense of getting back into the swing of things, the interaction, the community, this something like that. Hopes and fears, strength. You have the strength. You don't have to worry. You're a bull after all. Yeah. This is also a karma card, so you could be hoping that there's a balancing of the karmic scales. You don't have to worry about that. It's definitely happening. We have the Knight of Swords coming in the future. This is somebody who is fast, ambitious, um, but doesn't always use the best judgment. So let's see what else is coming with it. The Ten of Pentacles, which can be lots of money. It can be family money coming. And the Page of Cups, message. So this is, I'll pull them, I'll show you all to you soon. And the Moon, okay. So I don't know who this is for, but this sounds like it's a specific message for somebody. So this may or may not apply to everybody. So what I would say to everybody is that any action that you take, you want to be, you want to really be circumspect and think about it. But this looks like somebody out there there may be some sort of family inheritance issue here where somebody is trying to somebody said, I'm not sure that this person is the bad guy here. This person can be the person who's saying, hey, wait a minute, look what's happening here, right? Like the person who's courageous enough to say that something isn't right. And then we have the Page of Cups, which is messages, emotional messages at that, and then the Moon. So there is a little bit of instability in this situation. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that. Let me see what's underneath the Wheel of Fortune, the Ten of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. Oops, sorry. I almost feel like you may be the person who did all the work for like mom or something, and your brother comes in and wants all the glory and starts bossing people around and saying, what needs to be done. Maybe you're like, no, you try to like offer him the cup of, the cup of love or the cup of here, have a cup of tea, sit down, relax, and then he just like loses it. So I don't know why I'm saying that, but it does feel like somebody is burdened and somebody is holding on to the money too much. I feel like they're different people, but the Wheel of Fortune is here that says that's all changing. So there's a big shift changing with that. But and I think that what this card is crossing, because I couldn't really understand it, is that things have been hard in a way, I want to say things have been hard for a long time, and you're almost afraid to celebrate because you're like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate, and then what, right? So yeah, but you have victory. So even if you don't throw the party, I think somebody else is going to throw the party for you. That's what it looks like to me. But you're on your path. You're definitely on your path. But I don't know what the family stuff is about. You can discern that. It may not be for everybody, as I said. So it may be for a specific person, because it seemed like the end of that reading was a little different than the rest of it. But maybe it all makes sense. All right, guys, have yourself a great month. Like and subscribe if you're not already. Become a subscriber. As I said, I'm going to have a membership available by the beginning of the year. And I'll talk about it as I develop it. I'll let you know what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll see you next month for the Tarot Scopes for December 2024, last month. Woo. All right, guys, take care. Much love. You know I love you. Namaste.